Hello and welcome to another edition of Seahawk Spotlight. I'm Ed Habershaw, and today I'm with a senior captain on the women's basketball team, Meaghan Harden. Welcome, Meaghan.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
This year, you became the leading scorer all time in women's basketball at Salve Regina. With over 1,900 career points, let's go back to before your first basket as a Seahawk. And why Salve Regina?
So I chose Salve because right when I honestly got to campus, I just fell in love with the location. And it's definitely a great community. I just really got a really good vibe when I was even walking around the streets of Newport and just seeing the campus itself. It was great. And I also did an overnight with actually Taylor Winwer. And it was just really fun. I love the girls on the team, and I met Coach, and I sat in on a practice, and I just really fell in love with it. So I just knew it was a really good fit for me.
While your decision delighted head coach Corey Hughes, I'm sure it disappointed others who were courting you to come to their school. How did you break the news to them?
I just had to call them and deliver the news that, I decided to come to Salve, but, thank you so much for the opportunity. The two that were up in the air for me was here and then Roger Williams, but I just ended up really just having that feeling inside that this would fit me better, and I really connected with the girls on the team, which is obviously huge. So I ended up just calling the coaches and just telling them the truth, that I just really honestly liked Salve Regina better, and I just thought it was going to be a better fit for me, and just apologize nicely, and that I'll see him when I play.
You sure did.
Yeah.
When did you start playing basketball, and why? What is it that you love most about the sport?
So I started playing, I think my first basket ever was definitely when I was young. I think I was 4 or 5. I remember dribbling in the driveway with my dad, and he was just trying to tell me how to shoot and just kind of get me new to the game. Yeah, that's really when I started, and I just loved it and picked it up ever since and stuck with it. So.
Meaghan, Rookie of the Year in the Commonwealth Coast Conference your freshman year here at Salve. And many of us watching you against Roger Williams University in the Commonwealth Coast Conference semifinals that year knew you arrived. You scored 28 points in that game. Talk about your recollections of that game in which you were in the proverbial zone.
Yeah, honestly, I know that was definitely a game to remember. I was obviously new to the conference, but we did previously play Roger Williams twice. So I remember we had a really informative practice night before, and coaches running through their plays, and I just really tried to watch a lot of film, study their offense and their defense, and I just applied it to when I played. And I know a couple of their girls were definitely in some foul trouble, so I took it right to them and ended up coming with the win. But it was definitely an unbelievable feeling. Really good team win, and it advanced us to the championship, which was really awesome. It was it was a really good feeling to be a freshman and already being able to play in the conference championship was really amazing.
Up until that point, I had seen you as a terrific outside shooter, a perimeter shooter, deadly from three-point range, and you showed something in that game by getting to the basket and slithering through the defense.
Yeah, I just that was I feel when I really tried to switch up my game, definitely, because I feel my freshman year compared to now, I was really a perimeter shooter. I would drive in sometimes, but I remember specifically that game, I really tried to take it baseline, which is something that I've never really done before. So I don't think they were expecting it, which definitely helped us as a team get the win. And I really tried to been practicing that every summer. But by now it's definitely getting a little tougher now that I'm a senior.
Yeah. So you've added pages to the book, but now they have the book on you.
Yeah. So, and it was awesome though. That game was definitely one to remember.
Well, Meaghan, through your first 2 seasons, you totaled 993 career points, needing just seven to reach the 1,000 point milestone faster than anyone in school history, and you reached the milestone in your very first game as a junior in record fashion. Talk about that 45-point performance against Regis.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I really don't even remember the game. It was so fast, and I do remember the first half the most. I was extremely nervous. All my family came down, and I always get nervous when I do accomplishments, because I actually I'm not really a showy person, and I tend to be pretty humble, so I don't really like to do an accomplishment. I just get so nervous. But I remember, once I did get the 7 points that I needed, it was during a free throw, and I feel I just went off in the second half. I was we were down by almost 20 points, and I just knew I didn't want to lose that way. And I knew the team, we definitely didn't want to lose that way in front of it was a tournament, so especially in front of like a crowd and everything, and we took it right to him, and I couldn't have done it without the help of my teammates and my coaching staff. Yeah, that was a crazy second half. I didn't even realize like how many points I scored. It didn't even really matter to me. I just was like so glad that we got the win. So.
Yeah. Meaghan, you talk about the help of your teammates, and you had 4 captains as a freshman, 3 your sophomore year, 2 last year. Tell us what you've learned over the years from Averill, Burrell, Bucci, Del Valle, Dinan, Pendergast, Pagoga, and Winwer.
Yeah, definitely from all of them. Like the biggest thing that I learned is just being a leader, in the sense of, I remember like my freshman year, right when I got here, like we hadn't even really started pickup yet, and I was already like hanging out with Katie. I was already hanging out with Marissa, Lisa, Taylor, Sarah, Averill, all of them. And Allie, Pagoga. Even though some weren't captains, but even just the whole team, we were already hanging out together, and it was really great to like. It made me feel really comfortable. So I knew that over the years that I wanted to do that with freshmen and new incoming players and get to know them right away, because I feel like it helps them like slip into the transition of college like a lot easier. Like they really did like save me, because it was a little tough. Transitioning to college is so much different than high school. So being able to have captains who like cared so much and teammates was really, really great. So that's definitely one of the biggest things I learned. Just definitely from them also is just competitive, always being competitive and really wanting to win. They were winners, and they were really competitive, and they just never wanted to lose. And I think I like gained that attitude, for the game, which I didn't really have before, necessarily, or which I lacked of, I should say. But I definitely gained the competitive attitude from them as well.
As one of 3 captains this year, how have you, Maddie, and Jillian worked together?
We work together great. I love Maddie and Jill they're my like best friends here, so we really work out well together. We always try and hang out with the team as much as we can, and we are the leaders, so at practice, if we're being a little like silly and stuff, we have to set everyone straight. But we just get along so well with the team. And this year was we knew we had to step up right away, because there were 7 incoming freshmen. There was actually more freshmen than there were upperclassmen. So we actually really used the help of the other upperclassmen too, to help us make us mold as a team. I think that the chemistry on the court took a little longer this year, just because there's 7 freshmen. But once we got that chemistry, we were good to go, and it's been a really great senior year.
So talk about your relationship, starting with Maddie Brackett as a freshman and growing with her as a player and a teammate over the 4 years.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. She's definitely my absolute best friend here, and even like the first day I met her, we just instantly clicked personality-wise. She's just really, really funny, so nice, extremely nice person, and just the way when I first saw her play, actually, like how hard she worked on the court and on defense, like she never gave up. Like it actually made me want to play just as hard as her and never give up on defense. She's and even like her on offense, like just from playing with her for 4 years, I've definitely tried to tell her like don't ever be afraid to shoot, because even though she doesn't know it, she's a good shooter, and it's just been so fun. That's all I can really say. Just I don't think my experience would have been the same at Salve if it wasn't for Maddie. Having her with me for the 4 years has been definitely an experience that I'll never forget.
4 straight years you've led the Seahawks in scoring, and this year, no surprise, you're leading the Seahawks in scoring, but you're also tops in rebounding. Talk about how you've developed other parts of your game.
Offensively, that's always been my main focus, but just during the offseason, I really tried this year to lift and like work on my agilities and like jumping and all that, just so I could, make another part of my game like stand out. Even the last couple of games, I've been trying to, like focus on my passing into the post and getting some assists. Just being more of like a well-rounded player. Just not like just not scoring wise. I wanted to, show how I can be on defense as well. Just because it just gets so tough your senior year. Everyone knows your moves, so you just have to do anything you can to, help the team and just make yourself a better player. So I really tried to focus on rebounding, and I just feel like, whenever the ball goes up, I just try and box out whoever I can and just grab the ball. My coach was actually saying to me, like, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, she was just saying, she's like, oh Meg, I just think that you have a really good sense of like where the ball's going to be. You just happen to always be at the right place at the right time. So I guess it's almost like a sense of like, not really luck, but just, knowing the game in a way. So I know that even today at practice, if someone's going to be shooting a 3, you don't really want to rush in, and be really close to the basket, because chances are if it doesn't go in, it's going to be bouncing off the basket further away. So I always try and position myself to be in the right spot of where the shot was, so if someone's making a post move, I'm going to go right in there, because chances are if it doesn't go in, like I said before, instead of it being like a long rebound, it's going to be right underneath the hoop so I can grab it. So it's really just a sense of knowing where to be, and also knowing where the shot is being taken on the court that I've tried to learn from, and just every game just try and get better and better at rebounding.
Some of those double-doubles that you've had have come since you've broken your nose against Roger Williams. Any fear in returning to a physical action?
Definitely the first game that I was back versus Eastern Naz, I was a little hesitant, actually, not even for the rebounding part, more of actually driving into the basket. I know that I could feel myself just whenever I was going in, I'd kind of go in off balance, shots or layups that I would usually make. I was a little bit off balance because I was kind of going away from the hoop instead of going towards the hoop, or going away from my player instead of drawing the contact, just because it was definitely still a little sore. But I just kind of figured it's my senior year, and I only have a couple more games left until I unfortunately have to give up playing competitively for a while, until I play in a lady league or something. So I just want to take it to him and give it my best no matter what, and just I say a prayer before every game that no one hits me in the nose. So.
And without protection.
Yeah, I went to the doctor, and he said I was set to play without a mask, and to play at my own risk. So that's what I've been doing.
Meaghan, how have you changed from your very first day on campus?
Well, I've definitely become more mature. That's for sure. I was just immature in the sense of personality-wise. Definitely with schoolwork, I just was kind of I'll do my work, whenever. But I've definitely took the advantages that Salve's given me. My teammates, with the tutoring service, I now, throughout even the second semester of my freshman year through my senior year, I go to the tutoring center almost 2 to 3 nights a week, or whatever I need. If I'm having trouble in a class, I'm not afraid to go get help, or go to even a teammate and get help. And just really focusing on time management also is definitely, I've changed that a lot. With basketball, you have to juggle so much, and I've just learned that over the years I've gotten so much better with time management. Instead of sitting down and taking a break, I'll go to the library because I know I have practice and I know I want to get it done, so I can get a good night's rest and then be well rested for the next day. So.
And in what aspects are you the same, where you say, you know what, I really like this about me, I'm going to keep it?
That's a good question. Probably just my sense of humor, I'd say. I just definitely didn't want to change that about myself. I really like to have fun with my friends, and I definitely wanted to keep that aspect and just be social as I can, and just make as many friends as I can here, and make my experience for myself and others at Salve well worth it.
Hardworking, humble, and kind are 3 adjectives that I've heard describing you from others. How have you developed those attributes, and which do you take the most pride in?
I definitely developed those attributes, I'd say, through my parents. I take the most pride in definitely being hardworking, I'd say, just because, growing up, my parents say no matter, what social class you're in, you always want to just be hardworking, and then that will lead you to being successful in your life. And I've definitely developed those from my parents, especially being kind, and from my mom. She's really nice, and I wanted to be, just like her. And my dad also, he's very, very humble, so I definitely got that aspect from him.
How humbling was it to be named the Female Athlete of the Year as a junior in 2015?
Yeah, it was definitely humbling. I was very nervous when I knew I had to make a speech, but it was really an honor to get that award. But it was just through all the hard work that I put in, and definitely my coaching staff and my teammates and my parents. I definitely could not have done any of that without them. But it was a real honor to be able to accept that award from Salve in the sports program here. It was a really good feeling.
Now, at that award ceremony, Meaghan, Coach Hughes was offering words of praise on you, and also saying how your parents were thanking her for giving you the opportunity to play, and she was saying, no, thank you. Talk about Coach Hughes and what she's meant to you.
Yeah, she's really meant so much to me. Just the fact that, I came here as a freshman. I know that, at most colleges you have to work really, really hard just to even get some minutes, or even none at all. You have to come to practice every day, and you don't even play in a game. And just the fact that, she saw something in me that I didn't even see in me, and she gave me that opportunity to express it on the court, and she gave me the opportunity to play, and she's just been really an amazing coach to me, and definitely someone that I really, really admire and look up to. Even my assistant coach, or my previous assistant coach, Ash, she was here I had her for 3 years. Now we have a new one. Even Ash pushed me, just say, like, even though, you're a freshman, don't be afraid to shoot. We need you on this team. So her and Ash were really big, big impacts on me, and I appreciate them every day.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Well, the best compliment that I definitely have gotten actually was from senior night. We, all the girls, it was so nice. They wrote a bunch of letters, and I actually just finished reading them all. And I think every single one of them in the letter said that they're going to miss me at practice, just how, like, funny I am and how I bring, like, the life out of practice. And, I'm, like, a weird funny, and I just thought it was, like, really nice to hear, because it makes me feel good about myself that I'm, making people laugh and making people have fun around me. But, at the same time, I try and, be serious. But that was just a really nice compliment that made me feel good about myself.
Who has been your role model in basketball?
So my role model in basketball, coincidentally, would be probably James Harden, one, because we have the same last name, plays for the Houston Rockets. He's actually a really good player. I always try to work on my handle sometimes. He has, like, an amazing step back. So I've tried to add that to my game, throughout the years. Haven't really made it a masterpiece yet, but it's something that I've wished I could do, someday as good as he does. And also, the past couple of years, Steph Curry has really come on the rise, and I know everyone's, saying, I don't really necessarily try and drain, like, downtown shots like him. I just really like how he's, like, so humble himself, and he's, like, a winner, and I try and kind of base my attitude on the court as he uses to my game, because I really, really love watching him play, and I know he's an amazing athlete, but I really like his personality on the court, so I try and take those traits and learn from him.
And I've always liked to say, Harden makes it look easy. Yeah. Who's been your role model in life?
Definitely my dad. My real daddy, actually, he passed away when I was young, but I always, he's just definitely going to be, like, my role model forever. He was really, like, humble. I think that's really where I got my humbleness from him, and a really hard worker and kind. So those three adjectives people describe me of, I think, really based from him. And also, in present day, I think that both my role models are actually both my parents, my stepdad, and my mom. They're extremely hardworking and just people who I really, really, want to be like when I, grow up.
And it's always great seeing your parents come to the games. Is there anybody that doesn't get to come to the games that you'd love to see you play?
Yeah, I really wish that my dog Ivan could come to my games. I know that sounds kind of funny, but my parents ended up coincidentally getting a dog when I went to college. And in high school, I've been asking for a dog even before high school for years. And of course, right when I went to college, they get a dog, probably because they missed me too much. So they ended up getting a dog. His name is Ivan. He's a Boston Terrier, and he's 3. And he's definitely, like, my best friend. I talk about him all the time. But yeah, I really wish that he could come to my games. I actually wanted him to come to our senior night game, but we couldn't, like, work out a way where he'd be, like, allowed in the gym, and we didn't know how he'd be. So, but he was there in spirit. I know that. But I definitely wish he was allowed to come to my games. That would really make my day.
Well, he's outgrown the terrible twos. He's
I know, right?
A crazy
he should be allowed in. I know.
Meaghan, what's been your most memorable class at Salve Regina or otherwise, even before Salve?
So my most memorable class here at Salve was actually with Kelly. It was an elective. It was called Gender, Minority, and Sports, and I actually walked into the class and, just kind of was like, oh, I wonder what this is going to be like. But she was honestly, like, I learned so much from her, even though it was just a 1-credit course. I really, really enjoyed that class with her. I learned a lot of things about Title IX and just a lot of things about sports and gender that I really wasn't aware of. And she made that 1-credit course, well worth me taking it. And I honestly really, really enjoyed it.
And I'm sure hard working doesn't limit itself to the basketball court. You've been a hard worker in the classroom. Oh
yeah, definitely. I dedicate a lot of my time to schoolwork. I'm always trying to, like, improve my GPA. That's something that I really definitely have put a lot of effort into these past 4 years. Like I said before, I'm always trying to go to the library, see a tutor if I can. I kind of get anxiety about schoolwork, so I always want to, like, try and get things done because it doesn't come easy to me. I have to study really, really hard. So I try and put a lot of time and effort into it.
What does the future hold for Meaghan Harden?
Hopefully great things. I'm interning right now at the Boys and Girls Club, so the future for me, I'm a marketing intern there, so, but I've learned from interning there that I definitely want to do something in the marketing aspect that keeps, I'm on my feet. I definitely don't want to be in a cubicle. It's not really my personality, so I think I'd want to go into event planning. I see that in my future. And, just having, a family and having a nice house.
What will you miss most about being a student at Salve Regina?
I'll definitely miss basketball. I think definitely most about being here at Salve, and just like the whole college experience is so great. I'm really sad that it's coming to an end. Salve has given me so many opportunities, but definitely what I'll miss most is just playing basketball and being a part of Salve athletics. Has just really molded me into the person who I am today, so that is definitely something that I will miss most.
How fast have these past 4 years flown by?
They have flown by so fast. I literally remember yesterday being a freshman and stepping onto the court for the first time with the team. I remember the first practice, everything, and just even being in the classroom for the first day and how nervous I was. Freshman orientation, I remember that, and it's crazy. It's now it's second semester winding down to senior year and getting graduation things in line, and it's definitely flown by.
Well, thank you, Meaghan, for spending time with us on the Seahawk Spotlight.
Of course, thank you so much for having me, and it has been a pleasure giving you my inputs and thoughts on everything.
And thank you for watching this edition of Seahawk Spotlight, and be sure to watch other editions of the Seahawk Spotlight, as well as 99 Seconds with the Seahawks.